All right, I will now call to order the Wednesday, December 17th, 2025 meeting of the Quaker Valley Council of Governments Board of Delegates regular meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with
Liberty and justice for all.
outside. Pledge allegiance to the.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. We'll do roll call.
Okay, Aleppo Township. Avalon Borough,
Present.
Bell Acres Borough. Bellevue. Ben Avon. Ben Avon Heights. Edgeworth. Hemsworth. Glen Osborne.
Here.
Glenfield.
Wait.
Hayesville.
Present.
Kilbuck. Leet. Leetsdale.
I'm here. I'm actually waking up too.
Oh, perfect. Sewickley.
Here.
Sewickley Heights.
Here.
Sewickley Hills.
Here.
That is a quorum.
Okay, everyone, before we get into our regular meeting, we're going to jump down to new business, and we're going to begin by welcoming Michael Baker International to give us an update on the Manchester Reunited Route 65 project.
And you guys should be able to share your screen. I'm not sure who's going to lead the presentation here, but feel free to pull up your presentation and take the mic.
All right, thanks. I will be sharing my screen, and while I get that set up, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce Chris Chandler, who is with the city of Pittsburgh, and he's gonna actually kick us off tonight.
Perfect.
Hey everyone, how you doing today?
Doing well. Thanks, Chris.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll give Justin a second. Cool, ready to go?
Yep, ready to go.
Perfect. Well, thanks everyone for taking the time out of your meeting to allow us to present and speak to you all today about the Manchester Reunited State Route 65 feasibility study. So just to kick it off, my name is Christopher Chandler, and I am a principal planner with the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure with the City of Pittsburgh. And in that role, I am also the project manager for Manchester Reunited. And of course, as you all know today, I am joined by Justin Miller and Kirsten Capitello from Michael Baker International, who is our consulting firm for this project. So I'm not too sure how much background you all already know, but just as a brief overview, I'll kind of give some context to the project, and then Michael Baker will kind of go into some of the a little bit more technical details and behind the scenes of the feasibility study. And I know we don't have a lot of time today, but after that, if any of you have any questions, please feel free to let us know, and we can also share our information with you as well. So with that, just a brief overview again. This project, Manchester Reunited, it is a feasibility study funded by the US DOT's Reconnecting Communities pilot grant program. And the proposed purpose of the project is to pretty much better understand how we can functionally reunite Manchester with Chateau. As many of you may know, it all used to be one neighborhood, but in the 1960s, when Route 65 was built, it of course divided the neighborhood, with the Manchester side being primarily the neighborhood and the Chateau side being primarily the business and development district. So the project is to functionally see how we can unite these two neighborhoods by either urban highway removal or urban highway intervention in order to provide a safer, more connected, and more economically advantageous path forward for both the neighborhood and for the region at large. Next slide, please. Cool, thank you. So to accomplish the goal of the Reconnecting Communities grant program, the City of Pittsburgh and Michael Baker International are really honing in the core of this project with the goals and the values of the Manchester Chateau Neighborhood Plan, which was created in 2019. And the plan clearly outlines the goal of reuniting Manchester with Chateau, as well as improving access to Allegheny Station and reconnecting the neighborhood to the riverfront as well. I'm sorry that my light went off in my office. Can you guys still hear me though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna keep going as I figure out how to turn this light on. But my computer's pretty bright. But anyway, that those were the goals outlined in the neighborhood plan, and we're gonna use that as our guiding light as we continue to engage with the community to identify the best design alternatives that can meet the safety, recreational, economic, and environmental needs of the neighborhood. Next slide, please. So, in tandem with the neighborhood plan and the grant program, another extension of all of this is the Manchester Chateau TRID, which was created and published out in 2022. The TRID, which is the Transit Revitalization Investment District, is, of course, a strategy to use value capture, which is utilizing new tax revenue gained by new development to be reinvested into the community. And specifically, the TRID is going to be used to focus on infrastructure and transit needs for the community. So we are kind of using the TRID as our foundational approach, especially as we get farther down in the project when we start to discuss policy and funding recommendations in order to implement whatever new design we end up thinking of. This will be kind of the basis of that conversation and something we will build off of down the line. Next slide. So in short, we have our project purpose and need statement here for you. And pretty much, and I can read this verbatim. Thank you for that. Like my friend just helped turn on the light. But with this, we have a project purpose and need statement, and this is a statement that is curated with the city, with Michael Baker, with the community, and as well as with PennDOT as well, seeing how they are the actual owner of the infrastructure of State Route 65. So you see the purpose of Manchester Reunited project is to restore safe and contextually sensitive multimodal connectivity between the two neighborhoods because they are physically, socially, and economically separated by Route 65. The project need is to address the longstanding divide between the two neighborhoods and realize the community's vision for a unified, thriving, and sustainable neighborhood. And with that, I will pass it off to the Baker team.
Thanks, Chris. And again, my name is Justin Miller. I'm the project manager from the Michael Baker consultant side. And so we have a large team of folks working with us on this project, and a lot of it is, it's kind of divided between really intense and high effort public engagement effort, as well as a lot of design and understanding of not only the existing conditions of what is out there today, but what has been there over the last several decades and what came before that. This purpose and need is structured as part of what ultimately may be a state and federal grant project. So we're going through the whole kind of environmental background and study that you would need to pursue a project like that. But important to say that we're not coming into it with any preconceived notions of what exactly it would look like or how it would function. The community has definitely outlined a lot of ways in which they think it could go. And so our job is to investigate those and make sure we understand the true nature of the built environment and what is possible and what is going to work best for everybody, not just in that community, but also how it fits in regionally with the overall transportation network that we have. And so, dialing back the clock a number of years, you can see here we've got a shot of the north side, and just to the left of center there is Manchester. Um, you can see a pretty dense row of businesses and homes and everything kind of tightly packed into that grid. And, jumping forward to, whoops, just a couple of years beyond that, um, in the 1980s, we've got the beginnings of the highway that started in the 1960s. It wasn't fully complete yet through to the North Shore. So it was really a gradual kind of thing. I think everybody thinks, oh, this highway just manifested over the course of a year or two in the 60s, but it was actually a multi-stage project that took a couple of decades. And so then, jumping forward to somewhere closer to the present day, you can see the full build out of the highway and how disconnected it is. Manchester is from the riverfront, from the industrial area, where there are a lot of things happening there, a lot of changes taking place in the near term, and then over the coming decades, I think it's for the neighborhood and the region to decide what that becomes. But we know that transportation in this neighborhood is not nearly as connected as it should be. Um, let's give you another kind of aspect. You can see again, Manchester and Chateau was all one big thing, wasn't separated. There was no divisions between them. And then that same exact perspective from today. I'm not sure why it's not blending there, but you can see the exact same perspective with some of the buildings that were there prior to the highway still remaining. And so it's kind of just interesting for us to see the past. But looking at the present, we drafted a very long, very detailed existing conditions report, again, suitable for the NEPA environmental analysis that will inevitably become part of whatever project comes out of this study. But looking at sociodemographics, overall environmental evaluation from air quality, water quality, um, and every other aspect of that, looking at the land uses that are nearby. And there's a lot of cultural and historic resources and just overall traffic patterns locally. So looking at local crash clusters and speeds and things like that, but also regional traffic volumes. Route 65 is obviously very long, stretches throughout the entirety of Allegheny County and beyond. So, how does this fit in? Where is its role in the overall regional transportation system relative to, Route 51, 279, all the other highway systems that kind of connect into it. So that's kind of how the traffic operations side is being looked at. Um, and then on the more local scale, these represent the things on the next couple of slides represent the neighborhoods thinking mostly from the neighborhood plan that Chris mentioned that was completed back in 2019. There were a number of high-level design options that people thought that this reconnecting across the highway could look like. It ranges from smaller scale interventions like going over or under the highway at various points. This what's depicted here as a pedestrian bridge that may or may not be viable. I think there's a little bit more interest in what if we punch some holes in the highway and are able to create some underpasses, whether they be just wide enough for, a trail or bike pedestrian, or if it's wide enough that we can have a full street go through, additional connections like that. New links could certainly be created, different public space opportunities. Um, how viable that is and how much that influences things like land use and economic development is one thing that we're going to weigh. And so that's where you see some other proposals like this. This is kind of a version of the previous one where you have a few more connections below the highway that are a bit more accessible, can create possibly more spin-off, and then all the way through to larger ideas like replacing the highway with at-grade streets. And that could be something like a boulevard, like you're seeing here. It could be a grid of streets that matches the historic street grid that was once there. It could be something in between. There are a lot of different ways that gets evaluated, not just in terms of the design of the roadway and traffic flow and all that kind of stuff. That is a big part of it, but also, what types of uses could happen in the space that is left behind the highway and its frontage road. So Beaver Avenue and Chateau Street take up a lot of space. It's very wide. So if you're able to accommodate traffic flow in a narrower footprint, these yellow areas that you see on this map here are things that, maybe land could be repurposed for something else, something that is like transit-oriented development, other types of activities that could generate economic activity for the neighborhood, the city, and the region. So all of these things are kind of in the hopper here for us to understand. So we're taking an early look at these and adding more detail to them and applying all the things that we've learned through the existing conditions report to create more detailed versions of what the neighborhood kind of told us the options were that they were interested in. So speaking of the neighborhood telling us stuff, not only are we looking at what they've told us in the past, we're working on a lot of different avenues for how they tell us things throughout this project and beyond. I wanted to introduce Bridget Bethea from ULEAD, one of our partners on this project, and she's going to talk a little bit about where we are now and where we think we're going over the next year or so.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yep.
Good, perfect. Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Bridget Bethea with ULEAD supporting the city and Michael Baker team specifically with community outreach and engagement. So we have been in the space of, every good plan has phases. And so we're in the phase of awareness. And so we've been spending a lot of time really kind of local and immediate, working within kind of the Manchester neighborhood, just reintroducing the work and reintroducing the project. We've been really thoughtful around ensuring that we're letting the folks know that this is not something that just started today, but these are things that we've talked about with you all for a number of years. And so we spent some time recently doing some community office hours and really supporting with driving folks to the City of Pittsburgh's Engage page where they're able to answer certain questions and learn about what things are upcoming and get some initial kind of feedback in that sense. And so that's been really great. And really, we're wanting to kind of take the road of really creating different and unique opportunities for folks to be able to kind of get reacclimated to the project, kind of understand what's happening within the feasibility study, to be able to give, responses and kind of have access to information really throughout all of the phases. And so you can see all of those that are listed here, and then just kind of some general themes that we see kind of along the way. We really do want to focus on public and community engagement. We want to really engage youth as well. Again, I chatted about the office hours already. We see business and industry, right, being very, very critical lever as well to continue to stay engaged with. And so we're, scripting out some roundtables and some discussions with them as well. And then other stakeholders. We know we have lots of other stakeholders in the area, getting to know them, getting to know kind of their interests and thoughts as well along the way. So we're hoping for this to be a robust engagement process, really grounded in that. One of the things that I always like to do is keep everyone kind of the eyes on the people as we're going through all of this. And so being kind of that liaison and that go-between in that space, but really focused on, consistent messaging and letting people know that really we're in a space of studying and learning and really continuing to learn what the community wants to see as it relates to this project.
Great, thanks, Bridget. And with that, we want to be cognizant of the time that you have available for us, and just wanted to remind you that there's a lot of information that is going to be continuing to grow on the City of Pittsburgh's Engage site, and we can make sure that you have the link for that as well, and that will get circulated around the group, so you can follow that website and make sure that you're up to date as you would like to be on this project. And we want to make sure that we're checking in with you regularly so that throughout as different alternatives get developed and have a lot more visuals that come with them and a lot more analysis and other information that comes with them, we want to make sure that you are hearing about it in a very timely way. So we all know that even though we're looking at the section of Route 65 in Manchester, you can't hardly sneeze anywhere on Route 65 without somebody along the line feeling it, because everything is so interconnected and interdependent on each other everywhere along the corridor. So we want to make sure that you're all involved. And so we'll work with this group to figure out when the next check-in you would like for us to staff.
Yeah, Justin, we actually have a couple questions. Maria, do you want to start us off?
Yes, thank you for this presentation. Coincidentally, we just had a meeting with Pittsburgh Regional Transit, about the fate of our local bus line number 14. And they mentioned the possibility in spring that they would consider and conduct public engagement on possibly merging line 14 and line 13. And what they gave us kind of looks, I actually asked them, does it match what you guys are doing? Do you know of this? And does this in any way connect? Because they are thinking of putting our line 14 and right around the neighborhood that you're considering, instead of sending it through 65 like it always has been our line 14, they would merge it with 13 and come down kind of around that whole stretch of 65, still coming down at Rivers Casino. Are you aware of any conversation or thoughts on that part of the consideration for this area?
Yes, you are in luck because we are also working on that project.
Oh, are you?
Full
Interesting.
disclosure. So I definitely don't want to speak for PRT now because not really in a position to do that at the moment. I will say that public engagement for the next version 2.0 of Busline redesign is going to be launching in the early part of 2026, likely in the very early part of February. We're still nailing down some dates. Um, and so a lot of the input that we heard from people everywhere in the county, including along Route 65 in those communities, a lot of that feedback has been incorporated. So I think you'll find that the next version of the proposal that they have is dialed back somewhat and restores some of the larger changes that have been made. Trying to remember off the top of my head exactly what this is. I don't want to misspeak, but I will say, watch PRT's engage page because a lot of that information is going to be coming out in the early part of February.
I guess what it makes me think is how likely of the proposed options that you have given us, how likely are the options that really will noticeably slow down traffic through 65 going through that neighborhood? Like, given what PRT is also considering, is this look like a favorite so far for all the community engagements that you have seen, or is it still a work in progress?
Very, very much a work in progress. I think it's too early to know because we still have a lot of data analysis ahead of us too. We know what the existing conditions are, and we know what high level the options could be. But the next step for us is going to be merging a lot of that and creating, through traffic modeling, what each of these different scenarios could function, how they would function. And so PRT is closely involved in this project as well. So they're gonna have their say in this too. And part of it may include dedicated space for transit. We know that's very important to the city, very important to PRT. Is if obviously
I
we
mean,
want to.
it's a commuter line for us, and we are a
Mhm.
commuter neighborhood, so that obviously would be like, I
Yeah,
remember talking when I gave feedback like a while back when you were collecting feedback on our area, that was the gist of my feedback based on what I see
yeah.
we
Yeah,
use.
the commuter line is going to stay. So like the 19L and the 14 are going to continue to operate in the corridor. How they operate through Manchester, we're quite a ways away from that. But PRT is definitely interested in um, retaining and improving the service that goes through this neighborhood.
All right, thank you so much.
Could I just add to, I'm trying to not speak much, I'm losing my voice, but we do want to make it clear that the QV cog does have a seat on the stakeholder advisory group.
Mhm.
And so does PRT. So the communications between those entities and the communications with PRT are ongoing throughout this process.
Okay.
But yeah, we appreciate the comments and definitely register those with
Mhm.
with the cog, and we'll make sure that all those things get advocated for.
Any other questions?
Can I also ask?
Yeah. Daryl Hartman from Philbrook.
Yeah, I think any proposal or anything that happens in the future, if it slows down traffic on the only part of Route 65 that actually works,
Yeah.
I don't think any of us would support doing anything that slows down traffic through 65. And I keep seeing this reuniting Manchester with Chateau. Chateau has 8 residents in it. And so is it the goal to get the 8 people to be able to flow back and forth over to Manchester? I mean, the whole Chateau neighborhood is industrial. I mean, I grew up. Yeah, it's,
there's a big investment happening down there in Esplanade. That whole area, there's a lot of land down there that can be transferred if you make it accessible. So I think the idea is not what it was.
but I don't think it's going to be neighborhoods. It's going to be.
It could be multi-use properties down there.
But it seems to me, move the 8 people on the other side, and then you're reunited the neighborhood. I grew up Shadeland Avenue area, that area. I'm very, very familiar with what it was before and what it is now. And it works now, as the rest of 65 doesn't, but that's the section that does. And I don't think any of us want to screw up what's already there, to slow it down.
Yeah.
I think we're open to understand what's happening here. I think that the challenge is we have highway areas of that road in certain areas, and certain areas are residential roads. I think that's the main problem. Is it's fast, it's slow, it's fast, it's slow, which makes it fast. So alternate ways of getting people downtown, whether it's expanding the bus lines, whether it's light rail, how do you get people through there? There's multiple options that
Well, we are speaking of, I think the us will know what our community that we represent in this organization, what their priorities are. We have a good feel on this, and so we will always be able to speak of what that is.
Anybody on Zoom have comments, questions, feedback? Going once, going twice. Well, I do want to thank everybody for taking the time to do the presentation. Please keep us in the loop. As you guys might be aware, there's going to be some transition here at the QV Cog. I'll actually be finishing up my role here in the next couple of weeks, and part of the latter half of this meeting is going to be talking about the transition phase. So please keep us in the loop. We'll be sure to distribute whatever information you guys have as far as public engagement sessions. And if you're ever looking to get back out in front of the group, whether in person or on Zoom, I can't speak for the group, but I'm sure that there's a desire to keep that conversation open just to see what's going on and to keep the communication channels flowing. So thank you again for taking the time to speak with us tonight. And if you have anything else you want to distribute to the group other than the presentation, let me know and I'll get it out as soon as I can.
Yeah, we will do that, and then we'll make sure that the link to the Engage page is also part of that. And I just wanted to say thank you. Best of luck, Patrick. We're gonna miss you, and thank you for all you've done. And it's been great working with you these last few years. And yeah, well, hopefully we stay in touch.
I appreciate that. Local government in Western PA is a small world, so I have a feeling that all of our paths will cross in one way or another in the not too distant future. So thank you again, and stay in touch, please.
All right.
Absolutely. Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it.
All righty. So let me go ahead and pull up our meeting packet. And I guess next thing up is public comment, if you want to.
Yes. I don't think we have any guests today.
Any guests from the public? I don't think.
No. All right, let's move on to item 5 on our agenda tonight, approval of the November 19th, 2025 meeting minutes. I would take a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Okay, does anyone have any questions or comments or changes for the minutes? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Moving on to our next item, approval of the November financial reports, unpaid bills list, and payroll summary. I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, any questions or comments about the financial documents? Okay, Patrick, did you want to give a summary?
Really just one note, and it'll come up later in the hard to recycle event. But the one lingering big tranche of money that didn't flow through this year is related to our Act 101, Section 904 recycling performance grant. So this is something that we gather, and I'll be doing it, before the end of the year. We gather all the data from the previous year. So right now I'm gathering data from 2024. This specific pot of money is from 2023 data. Residential and commercial tonnage goes into an application. We get a check typically around the $20,000 to $25,000 mark. We distribute a big portion of that back to you guys based on your residential tonnages from your waste management or your Vogel, whoever you have for your residential hauler. And then the commercial stays with the QV Cog, and that pays for our hard to recycle events pays for our glass bins, paid for our tree event that we had this year for the first time. So that pot of money, it's not just us. I got an email earlier this month, basically from DCD saying, stop reaching out to us, not directed to me, but people are emailing them saying, hey, where's our recycling performance grant? Sort of in limbo. And I think it's directly related. They didn't say this, but directly related to the budget that, took a little while to get approved. So I would anticipate that in 2026, we receive two different grants, one from 2023 recycling data and one from 24. So what is a void in the budget that you probably noticed, like, hey, where's that recycling performance grant? You'll probably have a zero unless it comes through in the last 2 weeks here. But next year, you're going to have probably $40,000 or $50,000. So it'll throw the budgets out of whack between those 2 years. But other than that, I think we were pretty spot on with our anticipated expenditures and revenues. And I want to thank the board for being a great partner for putting the 2026 budget together. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next is the president's report. Well, as you all have heard, unfortunately, Patrick will be leaving us, but I think that I'll speak for myself. I'm excited for Patrick that he has an opportunity to advance in his career in this way and serve more people and more communities. I think this has been a great opportunity it's been a symbiotic relationship here where Patrick was able to grow in his career and we were able to strengthen our foundation so that in the future we just have a solid spot to move forward and keep advancing the mission of the COG. And we look forward to good candidates. And I just want to thank Patrick for your dedication to the COG. Thank you, Patrick.
I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. All right. Next up, I'll share the screen for our Zoom participants.
All right. So next is the Route 65 report.
So for that report, it's actually going to be a recap of a call that Julie and I had with the Michael Baker team. So not directly related to what we had the discussion previous, but the welcome signage initiative that we had. So this was a kickoff call, and it was sort of bringing them up to speed on where we're going to be, for the next couple of weeks as well. And really, it was a good. In the last couple of weeks, like 2 weeks ago, I sent out an Excel sheet that was put together by the Michael Baker team, and it's just a few questions. Does your community have welcome signs? Yes or no? If so, what is it? Is it like a metal sign? Is it a wooden sign? How big is it? How old is it? Just a couple little detail spots.
Show
So,
me.
basically, I'm looking for people to fill out that survey. We've had 2 communities out of the 17 so far do that. So we want to see a little more engagement before Michael Baker really moves forward with, some of their recommendations. And really what we're doing is saving them time and saving us money. We want them to be working on design guides and giving us recommendations and chasing what's there now. So let me,
sorry, I have my audio on.
oh, no problem. So really, again, we're trying to chase that information down for them so they're not doing it themselves and they're giving us more time for the actual technical aspects of it. So if you guys could put a little pressure on maybe the staffs.
Send it to me.
I'll send an email to the whole board if you guys just want to remind your secretaries or public works or borough managers, whoever is going to be in charge of it, just a quick photo and a little like, hey, we don't have anything, or this is what we have. Easy enough. So
this meeting was very cool. I mean, there was a woman who has been assigned to our project who's working out of Colorado, but she's from Pennsylvania. And she is a wayfinding designer. She specializes in signage. She has like all 20 years of experience, like looking at all these different aspects of signs and how they're used and how they're useful and how they can be beautiful, how they can be functional. It was very cool to like hear her talk about it. She was creative and artistic in the way she talked about it. We talked about the sign, the cool
Obelisk kind of thing.
obelisk things that are in Emsworth, Paul, that were like from the original, launching of Route 65 back in the 1929 or something.
Yeah.
Right. And she was like super excited about the style of that. She thought there's this historical component to it that maybe she could even use that or some aspect of that in her design. So, I mean, she got me pretty excited about this sign project. And so if we can all just like, because our budget was only $6,000, and I think that they almost like took us on as a charity case on this project. Like we just need to, this is what they would normally reach out to all of us or go out themselves and get pictures of all these signs. But we're trying to save on money. That's why we are going to bring the information to them. So it's really important that we do that, or they can't really give us the best design. So I was even thinking I'm going to go and like drive around and take pictures of any signs that I see and just send them over to her. But if everyone can encourage their borough managers to do that, that'd be great.
Well,
And
photos available on Google Maps too. Just go to them.
Well, right. Okay. So, but we have to collect that and send it to them because we're not paying them to go and find it. Yeah. So one other thing about it was that they were going to follow up with us. We created a deadline for sending in that information of MLK Day in January. I want to say it's January 19th. And then after that, they're going to do their design phase, and then they will meet with us probably February or March. They'll come to our meeting on Zoom and show us. She said 2 ideas because she finds that it's easier for people to say this or that rather than this or that, that or this
one or that.
Yeah. So she's probably going to come with 2 ideas for us, and I'm super excited about it. So that is the 65 update.
Yep. So I'll send that matrix out to the group. And again, it's like 2 questions. So if you could just sort of put a little pressure on everyone, the sooner we get that back and the more we get, I think the more productive the tool that they come up with will be for the group. So.
Yeah. And it's not going to be, by the way, she did say she wants it to be something that could be used for years and years. So if your community is not even thinking about a sign, it's not on your radar, you don't have the money for it, whatever, this is something that she intends to be able to be used over like a 10-year period. And it's not going to prescribe a sign. It's going to give possible ways of indicating the cohesion over like, for example, maybe there would be like a small logo that you could put on your sign and kind of just, they're all similar, but it's not prescribing a sign. It's really important that she wants every community to feel that they're expressing their own community and not have them all be the same. So it was very interesting to hear her talk about it.
She was very high energy. I'm looking forward to seeing what she comes up with.
Any questions or comments about that? All right, let's move on to the Emergency Preparedness Committee update.
I don't have a report, but we do have some guests on the call here. So Amanda, did you have anything on the Hayesville end that you wanted to bring to the group?
Nope, I don't think I have anything this time.
Very good. Anne, anything from Glen Osborne you wanted to bring up?
On the in terms of emergency management?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bill's been heading that up, and on January 5th, he's going to a big meeting. They've been coordinating with the railroad folks. We're obviously focused on our, if there's an issue with the railroad, evacuation, et cetera. So he's been leading that up. And there'll be more information after he goes to this meeting on January 5th.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's the report.
Next, grant status report.
Okay, so it's sort of a race to the finish line here. I'm trying my best to get anything that's like sort of lingering that can get finished by the end of the year finished. So we're expecting a pretty big check for our Lincoln Avenue streetscape project that's coming from the county. So that should be done in the rear view mirror before I leave. And a lot of these, like the bids that were put together, there was a project in Bellevue again, project in Emsworth that we just opened up and had bids for. So really just trying to plug as many holes and to serve everything up on a tee for the next administration to just keep the ball rolling here. So obviously last month we talked about the gaming awards, $900,000 and grant awards for 8 different projects or 9 different projects, one of the two. So again, really excited for the organization here. That's a big deal. That's a lot of money coming into our communities. And in turn, the utilization fees, a nice bit of money coming into the organization. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens out here and really excited for those projects. So again, I hope this doesn't, I mean, the next person's going to have their own way of doing things, but I hope that they have a similar tool to just keep the group here up to date on all these different projects because there's a lot going on and it's easy to sort of get lost in the shuffle. So again, looking forward to seeing what the future holds.
Any questions about grants? Okay. And next is the executive director's report.
Yeah, so the one thing I wanted to bring up that isn't on the report here is Waste Management is looking to switch service days for a handful of our communities. So particularly Sewickley, portions of Sewickley, not the whole borough,
Right.
portions of Glen Osborne, portions of Hayesville, and that's pretty much it. So right now the service days for those communities are Tuesdays. They're looking to shuffle it to Mondays to better connect their trucks and their routes with their various managers. So we've had a call with Hayesville and a call with Sewickley so far. Still looking to have a call with Glen Osborne to see if it's working. They're looking to do this the first week of January. They're really trying to like make it work. So 2 of the 3 communities seem on board with what has been proposed. Trying to get the third community to just have that discussion. Again, there's no pressure for me. It's whatever the community wants. If they're not in favor, they don't have to do it. But we want to make sure that there's clear communication and there's as much time for the notification to residents to go out because everyone's going to be in their routines. And the last thing we want is a big mess from everyone putting their cans out the day after the trucks come through. So they have a plan to address that, but we're running out of time. It's almost January. So we want to make sure that happens sooner rather than later, if it happens at all.
Patrick, are you expecting other communities to be getting the same thing, or is it just these 3?
To my knowledge, it's just those 3.
Okay.
So the other routes are going to be the same. It's too late in the game for them to be proposing anything else,
Okay.
at least in my opinion. But yeah, it's just those 3 for now, and
Okay.
it's not the entirety of the boroughs too. It's very fragmented, which I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, I feel like that creates more confusion if some of the streets are in one day and the other. But yeah,
Already like that in Sewickley.
yeah,
They're already on different days. So I think that they're probably just switching one section of it and it's,
yeah.
yeah.
So, but yeah, there's no other changes to my knowledge. But that could be different for the next contract. So
Okay.
that's but yeah, not for next year.
All right. Thanks.
A couple other updates. We already went over the grant awards last month, but they're highlighted here, the different projects and the different awards. Also, I want to thank everyone that participated in the Michael Brothers Holiday Light Recycling Program. I want to say like half of our communities are doing this. And it started like 3 years ago with like a couple, and before you know it, there's like 10 different communities out here that do it. So like we're like really the showcase for that organization's program. There's a couple other scattered communities. I know Whitehall's doing it, but like most of our communities are doing it. So they throughout the new year typically. So basically, they collect the lights, they strip them down, take the copper, recycle the copper, and any of the proceeds they donate it to Project Bundle Up. So really cool little reuse of resources and for a good cause. So thank you for everyone that helped promote that. Also here, there's a link to the Engage Pittsburgh Route 65 public engagement sessions that we discussed during the meeting. Also looking for recruits for our waste and recycling committee. Could be elected officials, could be managers. So if you haven't already stepped forward, let me know. Trying to get that roster ready for the next person so they can hit the ground running. And it's going to be like bid time before you know it, really. It's going to be a really big deal.
Patrick, I'll be on that.
Thank you, Ellen. And then I just had a little thank you to the organization here. I'll go over that later on, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys had this for your reports and all the elected officials that you work with. Just saw that I was thankful for the opportunity to serve all your communities, and I think we did some really, really cool stuff together. So that's my report.
Great, moving on to new business. We will skip over one or A, because we've already done that. Next, B, authorization to advertise for the position of executive director and the establishment of a hiring committee.
So this will be a two-pronged item between B and C. So first, I just want to formalize a hiring committee through the organization here. So similar to our waste and recycling committee, we're looking for volunteers here. Five people have expressed interest, so this will be like formalizing that. And if anybody else is interested, obviously throw you on the list here. The five people that were reached out to or reached out to us: Julie Barnes, Maria Napolitano, Rick Wagner, Ellen Politi, and Jim Kelly. So we have a mixture of elected officials and borough managers. So you get a little dynamic from both because this position really does work with both in equal parts. So the idea is to have a little mixture of both from variety of our communities. So that's the first part of it, and the second part is authorizing any of the advertisement costs, probably not more than $500. This would go to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and then the other free channels are going to, well, almost free. The Western Association of Pennsylvania Municipal Managers, they charge a nominal fee of like $50. They have a huge email list of pretty much anyone that's in the municipal management or borough managers or township manager fields. So the ad would go to that field. We have our local government academy network. That's going to be online and through their emails. That'll go out to that and connect. So I think we're going to have a pretty good web to just really get the word out there. The word's already kind of out there, but to really formalize it. So really, this is just the formalization of that committee and then any costs associated with advertising the position.
Okay. So, may I have a motion to authorize the advertisement of the position and then wait, do we have to do separate motions for these? Okay.
I'd like to make that motion. This is Roberta from Avalon.
Second.
Okay, so this motion is to advertise for the position, establish the hiring committee, and then any kind of, well, I guess that is the advertisement, so it's the approval of the
Us.
description.
Yeah.
Creation of the job description, correct. Okay, is that clear?
Mhm.
Sorry. All right, any questions or comments?
Roberta and Rick.
Rick seconded. All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes.
So part two to this will be sort of giving you guys as much help and giving the organization a backstop for a couple weeks or maybe even a little bit longer. Fingers crossed that it's quick, but you never know. So it's a consideration of an agreement with Daily Operations Consulting LLC for talent recruitment and interim executive director services. So we actually have Jason on the call here. So instead of me reading this long list of his accolades and background, Jason, if you don't mind hopping on the call, I will stop sharing my screen so everyone can see you. And just give us a little background on yourself, and then I'll fill in some of the blanks from that.
Sure. Well, good evening. And I'm actually sitting in a gas station parking lot right now up near Port Allegheny, Pennsylvania. So I apologize for the dark surroundings here, but I'm actually in my car right now. So, yeah, first off, kudos to you all for, all the work that you're doing. This has been a lesson just being on this call, hearing all of the things that you're doing as a COG. Your reputation precedes, all of that. You have a fantastic reputation in the municipal arena. All of your managers speak very highly of your organization, and you all as elected officials should be commended for the work that you're doing here. When I learned of Patrick's moving on to the SHACOG, I was first excited because he in and of himself has really laid a fantastic foundation, and they're certainly getting a great executive director at the SHACOG. But I was also sad for the Quaker Valley COG because of everything that you've built up and what Patrick has done for you there, and know that you want to carry on that work that you're doing and the work that is ongoing with the COG. And just throughout this meeting, hearing all of the different things that you have going on, it's going to be a busy year ahead for 2026, and that's great. I think that's exciting, and I think that will really help to attract your next executive director for sure. They're not going to be sitting on their hands, certainly whenever they come into their new position, and they have a great framework to work from. And you've all have done a really good job in laying out what the expectations are going to be. I think through that, even with this agenda here as to what's going to be going on in 26. Just a brief introduction to myself. My name is Jason Daly, and I have been a municipal manager for 10 years. Is how I started my career in 2 different communities in Allegheny County before going to Cranberry Township as their public works director for about 14 years. I became their utilities director as well. And then just a few years ago, I left Cranberry to start my own company. And all I do is work with municipalities, authorities, and it's been primarily through these transitions, serving as an interim manager or an interim director or authority director at these different utilities to help them find their next director or manager with success. So that's been a good key to my model, which has been, really try to come in, serve in this role, and help recruit, help the board, the selection committee, identify candidates, narrow those candidates down in the committee, and help to present to the full council a good slate of candidates for you all to interview and to consider. I think that in this arena right now, there's timing's probably very good right now. There's some managers on the move after the last this last municipal election year. I've been getting phone calls routinely over the last 2 weeks from managers that are starting to ask, what does the market look like? And these would all be potential candidates, I think, that would potentially serve your organization, well. Which is always good from that standpoint. By the way, none of those managers were any in your organization, so that's good. That's a good sign. So, these were all outside, of course. Nevertheless, it's a good model that I lay out for organizations that are in need of a really quick fix for someone to maintain what's been going on in terms of keeping the office running, remaining a point of contact for the elected officials, but also for the municipal managers, remaining a focus for them and a point of contact. And anything that urgent that would come up, any of those deadlines that might come up in the short term, that we feel that in the interim capacity that I can serve, I would work to address those, make sure that all the compliance and regulatory items stay in check, and deadlines are met, all the while searching and following through on the recruitment and working through that selection process with you all. So it's a service, an hourly service that I offer. So you only pay for the hours that I would be working. I did provide a proposal that had a not to exceed in it for hourly services, but I really would expect I was talking with Patrick, 10 hours a week at the most, but certainly being available for any phone calls or emails, any type of contact from the managers or elected officials that you may need in this short term while we seek out your next director position. So I know that's a little bit of a mouthful for you all to hear quickly here, but I wanted to first introduce myself, but then also provide for any questions that you may have about what I may be able to offer to you.
And I'm sharing the screen here just for everyone's knowledge. Jason's proposal is not to exceed $8,500 for this endeavor, and he would charge $135 an hour. I'm not calling for the bullpen. If you need me past January 2nd, that's the rate Jason established, and I would work through him to just make sure you have the questions answered. Maria, go ahead.
That was my question. Before we talked to you about our DCNR grant and using, basically combining all the grant funds, it sounds like we might have to have another conversation with DCNR in January.
Yeah.
So is this something we talked with Mr. Daly or you,
Yeah, for something like that, I would make myself available because that's a pretty complex issue. And
Speed is just
Yeah.
not worth it because it has nothing to do with cubic cog really, other than just CDBG.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea of it. And Jason, Maria was highlighting a grant that was awarded through CDBG, but there's going to be a couple other grants the borough has for this project, and they're trying to couple the funds, to lower the local match requirements. And for examples like that, that's where Jason would call me, or maybe by that point, maybe there's another executive director in place, and that's where I kind of need to be here to help you with that 30-minute call, show you where those things are in the files, and answer any questions that I might be able to answer. So, yeah.
So my first question, my first question is this. So when you are looking for the candidates, at the point that you are collecting their resumes and doing pre-screenings, do you at that point, before bringing to us the top candidates, do you do a basic social media screen or some kind of in-depth vetting of those candidates?
I do, and that's a good question. I do not only a social media, but I do a deep dive into local media. If they're a local candidate and they're a candidate that's been in the municipal management arena, I have a very vast network and good working knowledge of the manager pool that's out there right now, and I know most of the managers that are currently seated. But if they're not in that arena, I definitely do a deeper dive. I call references, ask for more references.
At the time that you are initially evaluating resumes, not at the time that
Right.
you pick the candidate and trying to see if you're doing a background check, but before that.
Yes. Yeah.
That's really is crucial. And the second thing I was hoping to understand is the kind of the template contract that you give to a client such as QVCog. Does that include any kind of non-compete agreements for us with you? In other words, does that ban us from looking for other candidates, or does that give you an ownership, so to speak, of the candidates you're bringing us? In a related question, do you sign a similar non-compete contract with your candidates that you're bringing us?
No, and in fact, I think it works to everyone's advantage that, I'm doing recruiting for multiple municipalities, multiple authorities, all at the same time. So it actually benefits, I feel, the clients that I take on with this active pool of candidates that I generate and that I'm out there actively recruiting for. Because,
So is the answer yes or no?
No.
Okay.
There is no non-compete.
Mm-hmm. So technically, we could find somebody else also, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. And technically, you don't own the candidates that you bring us.
That's correct.
So just when trying to understand how this compares to how typical corporate recruiting works. Okay.
Sure.
So really what you're doing is that you are assisting us with administrative part of the search and hopefully with the networking as well, right? Essentially.
Yes.
But I am glad to hear that there is a vetting process on your end that is hopefully it's basically just such a crucial component of the steps that oftentimes I find lacking in the services provided. So appreciate that. Thanks so much for sharing.
Sure.
Any other questions or comments for Jason?
No, not for me.
Okay. And
Patrick, if I could,
Yeah.
sorry, I just want to say as a manager, Jason, I'm Ellen from Edgeworth, by the way. As a manager, I can say Jason's very highly respected. I don't know him personally, but I know many people that have dealt with Jason, been hired by Jason, etc. So I think he would be a really great asset for us as we start this search. He knows pretty much everybody. And as a manager, I'm going to 100% respect the people he brings to us and respect his opinion. So I think this is a great move.
I've heard those same thing.
Yeah, and thank you, Jason, for hopping on the call. Again, I anticipate a lot of interaction between the two of us in the next couple weeks. But
yeah.
Hey, Patrick, this is Nate with Strictly Heights. I just wanted to echo Ellen's comments. I've known Jason over the years for a while, and he's highly respected. He's going to do a great job. Not that we all shouldn't be diligent about it, but I think he's going to be a great leader in the interim here.
Thank you, Nate.
I would say I had a great feeling of relief after meeting Jason last week. Thinking that we could have someone leading the search and then helping us through the transition, because I sort of panicked when Patrick told me he was leaving, and I was thinking I need to hurry up and learn everything that he's doing so that I could do it on January 3rd. So yeah, so those are my feelings about Jason. I'm looking forward to working with Jason. So let's go for it. I'll take a motion to enter into agreement with Daily Operation Consulting LLC for talent recruitment and interim ED services as per the proposal that Jason sent us.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments before we vote? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Welcome, Jason.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I look forward to working with you.
Likewise.
Yeah, thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
There's a couple other things if you want to stick around. If not, I totally get it. But if you do want to stick around, there's two things that I hope to, well, three things I hope to get on a tee for you and the next person in 2026.
Okay, great. Sure.
All right.
Great. So we'll move on to item D. Under new business, consideration of agreement with PRC for a hard to recycle event in 2026.
So we sort of alluded to this previous, but hard to recycle events, there's about 10 that happen every year throughout the region. We have been one of those 10 for 4 out of the last 5 years. So in order to get on the calendar, we need to basically state our commitment to it, sign the agreement. The good news is there's no increase. It's still a flat $10,000 for this event. This event is paid for through that recycling performance grant. Again, I did note in this, we still haven't received our 2024 award from 2023 data, but you still should get that next year along with this year's application. So you'll double dip next year. We still have over $20,000 in the recycling grant pool, not even including the 2 grants that we anticipate from last year and this year. But this is basically a proposal to engage with them. They gave us a nice quote here. It outlines the services. This past year's event was at the Northgate High School. It was the first time we actually had the event in Bellevue. Had over 400 guests and over 40,000 pounds of stuff. I always just say it's not just one thing, right? It's your TVs, it's your tires, it's your Freon containing appliances, it's your dehumidifiers, as Daryl can attest to and Roberta can attest to, right? More or less, I want to get this done as long as you guys want to do it again. I want to make sure that we're on the docket, because if you wait a couple months, it might get filled up. This is not engaging with the location yet, so it's going to be up to you guys where you want to have it. Can always start that conversation with Northgate before I leave if you guys want to have it again there, or I can leave it up to you to sort of move forward into the next year doing that. It also doesn't establish a date. We've had it in the fall the last couple of years. If you guys want to have it earlier, this is your time to sort of work with them and pick that date. So a lot of unknowns, but the known will be there will be an event in 2026 on a Saturday. So that is the proposal.
Does anyone have any questions about that before we vote? Basically, just to summarize, we're voting to have a hard to recycle event next year. We do not have the date or location chosen. We're just agreeing that we want to do it, and we'll enter into the agreement with PRC to pay $10,000 to do that. And then we'll figure out the details later.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we will have another hard to recycle event. Find your spot in your basement to set all your stuff aside.
Oh yeah.
Okay, next is the consideration of agreement with Case Sabatini to perform our 2025 annual audit.
Similar thing, just trying to make the transition as easy as possible. Typically, this is approved in January. Again, I don't know what the timeline is for finding the next meeting, and I started that conversation when I picked up our documents from last year's audit last week at their offices at Case Sabatini. So they gave us a quote for the 2025 audit. There is an increase of $400, so the cost of the actual entire audit is $4,400. I do note, while we pay this, it's reimbursed through our CDBG administrative costs. So this is something that's required because we participate in the CDBG program. Some organizations might use the entirety of the CDBG admin for salaries. We just don't have as many projects as some other COGs, so we use it for salaries plus costs expended for the program. So that is going to be reimbursed in the long run, but there is a $400 increase. I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. Still, I think well within reason. And they've been our auditors since 2013. Great team they have there. So that's the proposal to
All
continue
right,
the
any questions before we? No? All right, I'll take a motion to consider the agreement with Case Sabatini to perform the 2025 audit.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. And finally, our last order of business under new business tonight is the consideration of the 2026 meeting dates and location.
Yeah, last up, just trying to give it as turnkey ready for next year for you guys. We have the third Wednesday set at the library. They agreed and have space for us. Hopefully the carpet will be done on the first floor for you next year. But yeah, so it's the same date and time as we've had, I think, since the organization was put forth. So third Wednesday of every month, 7 p.m. here at the library, and the dates and the availability is confirmed.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Thank you, Sewickley Public Library, for allowing us to use your location. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? Motion passes. We have no old business, so we'll move on to concerns by delegates.
All right, we'll go in alphabetical order this time, mixing it up. So we'll do the usual stuff. Avalon Borough, Roberta, start us off.
Let me think. Well, hopefully, finally, we're going to have our Elizabeth Avenue corridor paved through grant money. Nothing's going to be coming out of the borough's pocket. Supposedly the Westview Water is supposed to start. They were supposed to start December 8th. Anyways, it's a very main corridor up from 65 up into town. It's right, Elizabeth Avenue is where the BP is, and right where the red, white, and blue is, if everyone's familiar with that intersection. That brings you up into town. So it's going to be a big detour over to the next perpendicular street in Kinley, and I hope our neighbors and my constituents for, well, another 2 weeks aren't too upset about that. We had a nice meeting last night, and our solicitor, Tucker Arnsberg, had a little holiday party for us and also invited our incoming people, elected candidates. So it was very nice. It was a really nice meeting to, get everyone familiar with one another, the incoming people and the managers and etc. And I don't think I have anything else, guys.
Yeah. Maria, go ahead. Thanks, Roberta.
Mm-hmm.
So really just wrapped up the year with the last meeting having gone smoothly, even though we had a 0.5 mil tax increase featured in the local paper. But that was, I kind of got a message that it was clear to the community that want to help support our first responders. So overall, there was a broad agreement in the community that is a necessary step. And other than that, we're just really, first of all, thank you very much for the Patrick for helping us get the GDTF grant. We're really excited to have gotten this basically green light for this big project for us, even though it's about half the money of what we need. We're continuing in fundraising. If we don't get any more money, we'll downscale the project and we'll be able to conduct a feasibility study for our industrial area bridge. And looking forward to starting our Henley Park renovations next year. So Patrick, if we could have another conversation with CDCNR about how to bundle all the grant money we have. But other than that, it was a kind of a quieter end to the year, and we're looking forward to January. Yep, thanks so much.
Thank you, Ray.
See you.
All right, Rick.
Yeah, again, on behalf of Ben Ad, I just want to thank you, Patrick, for your efforts over the past few years, a number of different grants and things we've worked with. In the borough, like everyone else, we had, four turnovers from our council and mayor, so we're adjusting to that, as well as doing a lot of intergovernmental cooperation with some of our neighbors. So planning on meeting with those folks, hopefully early in January, to make sure all those contracts and things are fine. Our Avon Club, which is a group of folks in the borough that funds a lot of the volunteer efforts, Meals on Wheels and whatnot, had their holiday house tour. They made a record-setting amount of money. They raised $51,000 as part of that event, which again goes directly to the community. The Borough Hall, which we've been doing some significant renovations to, as part of that. So with the new roof and windows, or part of the grant you help with, as well as a new elevator, we're able to show that off and hopefully have people start using it.
They were for the tour.
We were on the tour, yeah. So and people are always surprised at the venue. So we don't vote in that building anymore, but we may bring it back. So all kind of things are a possibility now that we have access to it. So it's been kind of exciting. But I think those are the main things, just dealing with the change and rolling into next year.
Like it. All righty. Next up, we have Ellen.
Hi, everyone. Nothing really new going on in Edgeworth. We adopted our budget last night, no tax increase, and yeah, that's about it. Patrick, I just wanted to say thank you, like everybody else is. Council, I told them last night, and they said that they were very proud of you as an Edgeworth Academy graduate, is what Joe Hep described it as. So they were very proud of you, very happy for you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Ellen. All righty, Emsworth, Paul.
First, thank you for everything you've done. It's been major improvement from when the first time I joined the ball. You really changed things around. So I appreciate it. Emsworth, thanks you for the many grants you've applied for us. So there's nothing really going on in the borough. They're waiting for the new council to take place. So it's been quiet.
Quiet is good.
Yep.
All righty, Ann, what's new in Glen Osborne?
Likewise, we had our meeting last night and everyone was quite saddened to hear of your departure because you are so well regarded and respected. Everyone wants to pass on good luck in your new role. We also likewise passed our budget, balanced budget, and no tax increase. So we were happy to be able to pull that off. We have some change in personnel on council and new mayor coming in. So we'll be looking forward to getting everybody reorganized. We've been delighted with Brian's property maintenance with starting the leaf collection in the fall. They did a great job, and also they're doing a great job with this challenging December that we've had with the snow removal and salt. Other than that, on a sad note, we did have one of our council members pass away just after Thanksgiving. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Mary Scalercio, but she served on the council for quite some time. And she had been ill for some time, and her term was set to expire at the end of December. And she, even though she was not well, she phoned into all the November meetings and just missed that last meeting. She passed away on November 28th. So we did have some service. There were some services for her, and we had a celebration of life for her at the Edgeworth Club recently. But yeah, so other than that sad note, things are moving along. Everyone's looking forward to the new year with a new crew.
Thank you for that update, Ann, and I'm very sorry for your community's loss.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, Amanda, what's new in Hayesville?
We don't have too much going on that's as of right now. We just passed our budget, and we are currently working with Comcast and Verizon on our contract renewals. And I believe you, Patrick, had a meeting this morning with Waste Management regarding the change to our trash pickup days. But otherwise, it's pretty much status quo for us. Not too much going on either.
Thank you very much. All right, Daryl, what's new in Killbuck?
Absolutely nothing. We will miss you. Dittos to everybody else. And hopefully the office will stay where it is.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
I think that's a great spot for us.
Yeah.
All right, Donna, what's new in Leet?
Not very much. Waiting for the new people to get on board. Looking forward to the new year. We're gonna have a staff party tomorrow. And you're gonna be tough to fill those shoes, let me tell you. I was here before you came, and I think you and I can both agree the difference is like night and day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I think it's gonna be a great opportunity for somebody, and I'm thankful that we have someone like Jason that can help pass the torch, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the organization can do. All righty. Maria already went, so Julie.
Thank you, Patrick, on behalf of Swickley Borough for all the things that you've helped us with, and also for getting the police together. And at least like kickstarting that effort to get people to talk to each other and work together and plan together. I think that's really beneficial for the whole cog. And one of the biggest accomplishments was getting that police group going for a while. So thank you for doing that. Swickley had a really fun light up night on December 5th. We think 6,500 to 7,000 people, which is actually a little less than what we've had in previous years, which was really nice. It was open. You could easily like do what you wanted to do. It was really cold. But it was super fun, and we're always really grateful for a safe event. So we just had another really fun night. If you didn't make it, we do still have some horse and carriage rides that are happening on Fridays and Saturdays and up until Christmas Eve. And the lights are really beautiful. We have the lights going all the way up into the canopies of the trees. So even just like taking a little drive is like with the kids or something is fun. That's all.
Awesome. Nate, what's new in the Heights?
Patrick, it is quiet in Swickley Heights as we wind down the year. We've managed to hire a laborer to fill our last public works position, so we're hoping he sticks around and establishes himself here. And I'll echo everybody's comments. Patrick, you did a fine job. We're all happy to see you go. Please reach out if I can do anything for you ever in the future.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it. All right, Hunter, what's new in Strictly Hills? Hunter, I think you're muted.
Let me try that again. All is quiet in Slickle Hills. And like others, I want to echo, thank you for kind of bringing Slickle Hills into the fold. Got a chance to know you in the last year here, and certainly your reputation preceded you, which was one of the reasons that we kind of chose to join the COG. So again, wish you well in your future endeavors. Patrick and I had a chance last week to meet with ACCD and specifically under the farmland preservation, and that is a group that would like to present to our group in the next several months. One of awareness. Essentially, the program is about preserving farmland for future generations, and so it's a way to kind of pay active farms and farmers to keep their land in the fold. So it's a continuing kind of a resolution when they get some money from the state, but then they always have their farmland kind of kept. And so there are a lot of areas that are open to this, but within our 17 municipalities, we are not a preservation area. And so part of this presentation would be just to bring that group in to share a little bit about what that program is. Ultimately, it has to be farmers that advance it, and they need to do a certain number of acreage preserving it. But I think that's a great thing because, one of the things about development is pretty soon you fill in all these places that are 50 acre tracts, and there's no green spaces or no farms locally. So it is something that I'd like to have us consider in the next few months.
Yeah, thank you very much for that summary, Hunter. And in the presentation, they highlight our corridor. There's three communities in particular that there's a lot of space and land and some farms. Portions of Swickley Hills, portions of Swickley Heights, and then Bell Acres Borough. So, I think it's a really cool concept. And yeah, again, it'll be up to you guys and up to the next administration. But the table is set if that presentation is something the board and you guys are interested in seeing. Thank you again, Hunter. Okay. Anybody else? I think we went over everybody, but if I didn't, now's your time. Any other thoughts for the group?
Patrick, I'm sorry, it's Roberta in Avalon, and I did not tell you thank you when I spoke a little bit earlier, and then I felt bad because everyone else did. But I have really in my 4 years on council, I think the COG was probably my favorite piece of it. And I really also wanted to say thank you and wish you the best of luck moving forward too. So just thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that. And I do want to thank you guys one last time here. Obviously, I'll still be behind the scenes here for a few more weeks, but it's been such a great journey. Really, it has. You guys took a chance on me and 5 years ago now, and it's just been really cool to see the organization grow, to work with each and every one of you guys. I think we've done some really great things, and I was really happy. I am happy, and I was happy. That was kind of a once in a career opportunity that came up with the Shaycog, though. Lou Gorski was their executive director for 30 or 40 years, and he passed away in July. So, I threw my hat in the ring, and it was sort of a long, drawn out process, but I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to accept the job. And if that didn't happen, I'd still be here. There was I wasn't looking to leave. It was just something that sort of fell into my lap. So, I do want to thank you guys again for taking a chance on me, and I hope I was someone that you guys like to work with, and I'll miss y'all. And like I said, it's small world, local government. Our paths will cross, whether it's at Shaycog or Local Government Academy Connect. There's if there's anything I can do for you guys, your communities, or this organization, please reach out.
Thanks.
We'll call you when we're having trouble getting solved.
You got it.
Yeah.
We're gonna bypass the secretary. We're calling you directly.
You got it. I'm there for it. All right, guys. Well,
So with that, everyone, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned.
thanks, everybody.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great holiday.